socially conscious people are coming up in the world or becoming socially conscious, one of the things that occurs to you is life is about problems, and there is no shortage of problems, and there's no shortage of jobs to address problems. I was looking at how we might retrofit some of our infrastructure, our living infrastructure in this country to ameliorate some of those issues. So that was in the forefront of my mind. And I think that that's a pretty common route in life, to sort of start out very ambitious, get involved in something, realize the scale of it, feel overwhelmed, and then ask yourself, what's really going to work for me? In my time there, learned how to do bankruptcies and work on consumer law issues, so I started thinking about starting my own practice and continuing to work with poor people in desperate situations. There we go. There we go. And out of nowhere, this organization that's just down the street from me, called Prisoners Legal Services of New York, posted a job announcement on a website. I thought that it would lead to tension in my family and some difficult situations at family gatherings and that kind of thing, because we often bring lawsuits against corrections officers and administrators within Department of Corrections. I think this preconception in a lot of people's minds that prisoners are terrible people and they've done terrible things and they do not deserve our sympathy or our hard work or our talents, and that they should just be locked up, key thrown away, and commence rotting. Pretty quickly, they were talking very differently about the rights of prisoners and acknowledging their humanity in the same way I was. Yeah, every day on my walk to work, I start thinking about, what's going to be there waiting for me. There's going to be probably a pile of letters. Some just initiating communication problems, other letters from clients that I have open cases on. So we'll get a letter, and if the letter is alleging that the inmate's been assaulted within the last 8 days, we will go out and we will take pictures of the injuries. The idea being that if it's within 8 days, those injuries will still be fresh, and we can do a better job than the Department of Corrections in documenting the extent of those injuries. It starts there. It starts with the inmate putting the facility, and usually the superintendent, what used to be called the warden of the facility, on notice. Often that doesn't result in anything getting done. It's just a hoop that the inmate has to jump through. But like I said, they have to jump through it, otherwise they're going to lose their right to bring a lawsuit later on, and that's as a result of a piece of federal litigation called the Prisoners Litigation Reform Act, and it requires you to exhaust all your institutional remedies and grievances before you bring a lawsuit.
At that point, the superintendent, like I said, who's entrusted with the safety of the prisoner, is on notice, and that will help us gain leverage in the long run, because if something then does happen to the prisoner, we have a documented paper trail of providing notice and saying this is going to happen, and we fear that this is going to happen, then that's going to help us with a lawsuit that might come along down the road. Back our services dramatically as we try to obtain refunding for the next fiscal year. But we are anticipating that most of our staff is going to be laid off, and it's going to be really difficult and a really sad situation. And it's particularly tragic in light of why Prisoners Legal Services was started in the first place, which was to help alleviate tensions in the prisons over not having access to resources, and in our case, legal resources.